I know you are watching me. I know you see and hear me, but you cannot show yourself because you know I can hurt you in ways you cannot anticipate. Or perhaps you do know how I can hurt you and are unable to protect yourself from it. I started hearing your breaths next to me. Your heartbeat is getting faster, and I can smell the fear in your breaths. If only you would show yourself and beg for my mercy. Then I began to see your eyes in the darkness, bulging, slit from the sides, and intensely red. I could see fangs protruding from the side of your mouth, which extended to your ears. There were horns on your head, thick hair covering your body, and claws on your hands. I was the one in control, the hunter in this situation, but in an instant, I became the prey. He saw the fear in my eyes and laughed a laugh that cut through my veins. Then, in a hoarse voice, he said, "You have opened a door that will not close until your death." Part 1. In a distant time, in the ancient eras, the world was a stage for mysterious and terrifying events. Back then, the world was not as we know it today. It was filled with legends and wonders. Tribes lived in constant fear, not only from each other but from supernatural forces surrounding them on all sides. During these times, knowledge of black magic and the summoning of jinn was common among people, and it was a source of power and influence. In a remote valley, there was a tribe known as the Tribe of Light, distinguished by its ability to use white magic to combat dark forces. However, despite their powers, they suffered from frequent attacks by jinn and demons summoned by black magic books that spread among other tribes. On the other side, there was a tribe called the Tribe of Darkness, notorious for using black magic and summoning jinn to achieve their goals. Their leader, the great sorcerer, Morgan, possessed a book considered one of the most dangerous black magic tomes ever. This book, inherited from his ancestors, contained powerful spells that allowed him to summon and control the kings of jinn. One dark night, the tribe elders gathered in a secret place away from the eyes of the jinn and evil sorcerers. The main topic of the meeting was how to eliminate the influence of black magic books and protect humanity from the ravages of ongoing war. The elder of the Tribe of Light, Elder Joseph, spoke with wisdom and concern, saying, "We have suffered greatly from these cursed books. We must find a way to destroy them, or the world will remain engulfed in chaos and destruction." The elders agreed on a bold plan. They would gather all the black magic books from the tribes and burn them in a grand ceremony aimed at ending the age of black magic forever. The task was difficult and dangerous, but it was necessary to save the world. Meanwhile, Morgan had learned of the elders' plan through his spies. Realizing the gravity of the situation, he decided to take immediate action to protect his powerful book. He sat in his dark cave, lit a candle, and began reciting mysterious spells from the book. An ancient fairy spirit appeared before him, serving him faithfully. Morgan ordered the spirit to hide the book in a place inaccessible to any human. The spirit complied, taking the book and swiftly descending into the depths of the earth. On the day of the ceremony, people gathered around a great fire, throwing black magic books into it one after another. The flames rose high into the sky, as if trying to purify the world of evil. The people felt great relief, but Joseph knew that there were books still undiscovered, including Morgan's legendary tome. Years passed, and the tribes began to feel safe, but Joseph sensed that evil had not been defeated yet. Stories were told of lost books containing terrible powers. Legends spoke of these books not being burned, but hidden by demons themselves because they contained spells that could summon the most powerful demons on earth. One day, while Joseph was wandering in the forest searching for rare herbs, he stumbled upon an ancient cave. He entered cautiously and suddenly found himself in front of an old stone door engraved with mysterious symbols. He slowly pushed open the door and entered to find a dark room filled with shelves of old books. The atmosphere was charged with magical energy, as if the books themselves were waiting to be discovered. As Joseph approached one of the books, he felt a shiver run through his body. The book bore glowing golden inscriptions and appeared to have been untouched for a long time. He carefully opened the book and began reading its first words. If you have read this phrase, you have opened one of the most important books to learn that these were my last words before facing my fate in life, or death. Joseph felt a deep unease. He knew that this book could be the key to a great secret, and it might hold powers beyond his imagination. But one thing was certain: the story of this book was not yet over, and it would have dire consequences for the world. After Elder Joseph discovered the legendary book, he rushed back to his village to inform the tribe leaders of his find. The elders gathered once more in a secret place, and Joseph presented the book and explained its dangers. Their eyes widened with fear and astonishment as they listened, realizing that the book's presence in the world could rekindle the flames of devastating wars. Elder Thomas of the Tribe of Light spoke, saying, "We must hurry to implement our plan. We agreed to gather all the black magic books and burn them, but now we know that there are books more powerful than we thought. We must search for them and dispose of them before they fall into the wrong hands." The tribes quickly mobilized, sending teams of warriors and sorcerers to search every nook and ancient cave for black magic books. The task was arduous and dangerous, as they had to face magical traps and guardian spirits set by previous generations to protect these books. One day, the team sent by Joseph reached an abandoned valley where they discovered a deep cave filled with mysterious books. They knew these books contained terrible powers, so they decided to gather them and transport them to the grand gathering site, where they would be burned before all the tribes. People gathered at the grand assembly area, and the books were placed on a massive wooden platform prepared for this purpose. Joseph lit the first torch, and the flames began to consume the books, lighting up the sky with their glow. The scene was awe-inspiring, as if the fire itself was trying to cleanse the world of the evil it had suffered from for centuries. But Morgan was not about to stand idly by. He watched from afar with anger and malice. Although he could not save his own book, he knew that other books remained undiscovered. He summoned one of his jinn servants, and ordered him to find the hidden books before the elders could locate them. He planned to collect them, and use them to rebuild his power, and take revenge on those who burned his legacy. As the flames roared and consumed the books, the people felt a great sense of relief. They believed that evil had finally been vanquished. But Joseph knew in his heart that this was not the end. He felt a dark force that had not yet been defeated and knew that the road ahead was still long. On the night following the burning of the books, Joseph gathered with the other elders in a large tent. He said, "We have made significant progress today, but we cannot stop here. We must continue searching for the missing books. We must ensure that evil will never return." Everyone agreed to continue the mission. They now had a new goal: to find the missing books and ensure their destruction. However, one story remained untold: the story of the book discovered by Joseph, which held a secret that could change the fate of the world forever. This was the beginning of a new journey, filled with danger and secrets. The tribes knew that the real war was not over yet, and that a dark force was working in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to return stronger than ever. Months after the grand ceremony where the books were burned, the tribes continued their search for the missing tomes. Teams of warriors and sorcerers spread across the land, but there was an increasing sense that some of the more powerful books remained undiscovered. Legends about these books became more widespread, turning into stories told around fires on cold nights. Joseph listened to these tales with growing concern. He knew that behind every legend, there was a kernel of truth. Stories began to circulate about books that had not burned, books hidden by sorcerers before their deaths or buried beneath the sands of time. There was talk of a legendary book said to possess the ability to summon the very demons themselves, considered the most powerful creatures on earth. One evening, while Joseph was attending a regular meeting with the tribe elders, a weary messenger arrived. He brought strange news, speaking of a distant village where the inhabitants had discovered ancient manuscripts indicating the presence of a hidden book in the Black Flame Mountain. The elders sprang to their feet. This was one of the most frightening legends. Elder Thomas addressed the assembly. "If this book truly exists, We are in grave danger. We must act immediately before anyone else finds it." A team of the tribe's finest warriors and sorcerers was assembled. Joseph led them personally, feeling that his responsibility was far from over. The team set out for Black Flame Mountain, facing treacherous paths, natural challenges, and significant difficulties. But they were determined to reach their goal. As they reached the mountain's base, the atmosphere changed ominously. There was a palpable sense of danger in the air, as if the mountain itself was trying to warn them away. Joseph advanced cautiously, leading his team towards the summit where an ancient cave was hidden among the rocks. They entered the cave carefully, finding the interior cold and dark. Joseph began examining the walls, which bore ancient carvings telling tales of old sorcerers and fearsome demons. Just as they were about to abandon their search, one of the warriors spotted a small stone door concealed behind a large boulder. They struggled to move the boulder and opened the door. Inside the hidden chamber, they found shelves filled with ancient books. The atmosphere was charged with magical energy, as if the books themselves were waiting to be discovered. Joseph approached one of the large books, which had golden inscriptions and seemed untouched for centuries. He opened the book carefully and began reading its first words. "These words are the key to power, but they carry within them a curse for those who do not use them wisely." Joseph felt a shiver run through him. He knew this book might be the legendary tomes spoken of in the myths. He realized that their task now was not only to destroy the book but also to understand the power it held and ensure it would never be used to harm the world. As they collected the other books and prepared to return to the tribes, they heard a mysterious whisper echoing through the cave. The ancient spirits guarding the books sensed their presence and warned them of the consequences of tampering with powers beyond human comprehension. That night, as they made their way back to the tribe, Joseph understood that this was not the end. There were still many missing books and secrets yet to be uncovered. This was only the beginning of their journey to discover and understand the legends surrounding black magic and the powers of ghosts. The second episode is available on the channel.